Hey everyone, my name is Sarah Yagana. I'm a respiratory therapy major graduating in May. I'm from Overland Park, Kansas, and went to Blue Valley Northwest High School. So that's just a little bit about me, but moving on to the questions. What was your motivation to enter the medical field? Can you tell us about your journey to where you are today? So growing up, I always loved science. Science classes were the most interesting and fun to me, and that's why I decided to kind of explore the medical field as I got into high school. Through my school district, I actually got to do a program called CAPS, and I took a course at CAPS called Foundations of Medicine. In this course, I got to do job shadowing, I got to do simulation labs, and I got to learn skills such as drawing blood and giving injections. And that kind of made me think nursing might be the way to go for me. So I actually decided to become a CNA and explore this interest a little bit more. And that's where I realized nursing is not for me. But I still wanted to be in the medical field. So I decided to do a lot of research online, and that's when I came across respiratory therapy on the KU Med website. And it really sparked my interest. I thought it sounded super interesting, and all the courses I had taken my first few years in college met the prerequisite requirements for it because I was doing a bunch of pre-health professions courses my first few years until I figured out what I really wanted to do. So I was like, you know what, this is perfect. I already have the prereqs done and it sounds super interesting and fun to me. I'm just going to give it a shot and see how much I like it. Here I am today. I'm about to graduate and I'm absolutely loving it. I would not have gone any other way. Next question is, if you could talk to your high school self, what advice would you give for preparing for medical school or your program of study? My biggest piece of advice would be to go job shadow. Go see what sparks your interest the most and what you're most passionate about. Sorry, can't talk today. Also, I would try to develop good study habits right now. Not all studying habits or techniques or whatever you want to call them work for every single person. For me, I'm visual, so I like to draw things out. I don't like to write things over and over. That won't help me learn the material. Sure, it might help me memorize, but that's not what helps me learn it the best. So it's not the best study habit for me. I like to draw graphs out, and flashcards really help me as well. So just figure out what studying techniques are best for you right now and develop good habits because that will definitely help you in college. Next question is, was the field of study you chose what you thought it was going to be? What did you expect and how difficult has it been? Different or has it surprised you? So the field of study that I chose is and isn't what I thought it was going to be. I never really knew much about respiratory therapy before I got into it, and also I feel like we're not really super well known. We're kind of like behind the scenes. I feel like not a lot of people know exactly what we do, so I was really surprised to see all the things that we do. And definitely with COVID, things have been different than I expected. I will say that. Did you stick with the career you thought you would specialize in when you first started school? No, like I said, I really did think I was going to go into nursing. So I worked as a CNA my first few years of college and did prereqs for pre-health profession so that I could easily apply whatever courses I got done to whatever program I wanted to get into. What would you advise students to do today that would better prepare them for their future in healthcare? Job shadow. Like I said, I think it is really good to go job shadow, not only to see what sparks your interest the most, but to see the teamwork that goes behind healthcare. It's a very important thing to see, in my opinion. And yeah. How do you balance school, studying, and everyday life? Planning. I plan my everyday to like the last hour. I'm a little obsessed with planning, but having a planner is super helpful. You can write down all your due dates, all your homework assignments for each day, all your classes. If you work, you can write down your work schedule. For me, that really helped because college is super fast paced, especially if you're going to healthcare. It's a lot of schoolwork, it's a lot of clinicals, and then you also want to balance your outside life. So, planning, but also don't get too focused on being hard on yourself with school. Of course, you should try your best, be on top of all your homework, but also give time to yourself. It's super important to take care of yourself throughout school too, because it's easy to put your mental health on the back burner when you're in school, super stressed out with all your exams and clinicals. Take time for yourself. Go do yoga, go on walks, take your dog to the park, spend time with your friends, because your mental health matters too, and it gets super stressful. So give yourself some grace and take care of yourself too along the way. If you could go back to high school or undergraduate school, how would you better prepare for your studies? Personally, I didn't know exactly how I studied best when I was in high school. I would just study to study. And now I finally have developed study techniques that work best for me. But like I said earlier, I think it's super important to learn that now. And I wish I would have focused more on that back then. The last question is, the thought of student debt after I earn my degree is scary. Do you have any advice? So, biggest advice I would give is apply for as many scholarships as you can. Even if you don't think you'll get them, still apply, because you'll be so surprised at how many you're going to be able to get. I was always hesitant to apply because I was like, oh, there's going to be so many people applying. I don't know if I'll get it. Apply. You never know, like I said. And KU Med and other programs, I'm sure as well, have really, really good amounts of scholarships. Like, they really do want to help the students out. And also, if you are able to get a job, you should get one. I have a job, but I'm not overworking myself. I limit myself to a certain amount of credit or work hours per week so that I'm still able to make school my first priority, but still able to also make money to provide for myself. To wrap up, I just want to wish you guys luck. You guys got this, and this profession is so amazing to go into. I really hope you guys consider respiratory therapy. It's such a rewarding profession, and especially during times like now, it's amazing to see the people you impact and also the impact that they have on you. So definitely consider it. I know I may be biased because it's my major, but I absolutely love it. And honestly, any profession you go into in healthcare is so rewarding and makes a big impact on the people around you in your community. So please explore, and if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. You guys can email me anytime if you have any questions about shadowing or studying or about my major, anything at all. You can reach me at sjyeganeh@outlook.com, and I'll be able to probably respond to you within a day or two. Sometimes my schedule gets hectic with school and work, but I am always checking my email, so I'll get back to you guys within a day probably. Thank you so much. Have a great day, you guys.